You are the CEO of your life. Read that again. You are in control, not your past, not your circumstances, and definitely not the people who have doubted you, hurt you, or taken you for granted. Yet too many of us spend our time chasing after people who don't appreciate us, holding on to relationships that drain us, and obsessing over who doesn't like us or who left. And you wonder why you feel stuck, why you feel exhausted. It's because you're investing your energy in the wrong places. Here's the truth. You don't owe anyone your time, energy, or peace unless they've earned it. And if someone is constantly making you feel unworthy, unseen, or exhausted, that's your cue. It's time to let them go. Because your energy is precious, your peace is priceless. And the moment you stop prioritizing people who don't prioritize you, everything in your life begins to shift. But letting go isn't easy, is it? We hold on to people out of guilt, out of history, out of fear that we might end up alone. But I need you to understand something. Not everyone is meant to stay. Some people are lessons. Some people were only meant to be in your life for a short time, to teach you something about yourself, about resilience, about what you deserve. And when you keep holding on to those who were only meant to be a chapter, you prevent yourself from stepping into the next level of your life. Letting go is not losing, it's choosing. Choosing yourself, choosing to stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Choosing to stop waiting for validation from people who don't even validate themselves. Choosing to protect your energy, your time, and your future. When you finally decide to release the things that weigh you down, you create space for the things that lift you up. Because here's the thing, energy flows where focus goes. If you focus on your goals, your dreams, your personal growth, you become unstoppable. But if you keep focusing on what's missing, on who hurt you, on who didn't support you, you are handing them the remote control to your life. And let me ask you, why would you give someone else that kind of power? Why would you let someone who doesn't even respect your value dictate your self-worth? Your time is non-refundable. You don't get these moments back. Every second you spend dwelling on what someone else thinks of you, every hour you waste trying to change someone who refuses to grow, that's time you could have spent building your future. That's energy you could have invested in yourself, in your peace, in your purpose. And the harsh reality, the people who drain you, the ones who make you feel small, they're not losing sleep over you. They're not holding on to the past the way you are. So why are you carrying a weight that isn't even yours to hold? You deserve better. You deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift you, who push you forward, who see your potential and remind you of it. But you won't find those people if you keep clinging to the wrong ones. The longer you hold on to what's breaking you, the longer you delay your breakthrough, the longer you focus on them, the longer you ignore yourself. So today, make a choice. Choose to walk away from the people and the habits that no longer serve you. Choose to stop justifying your worth to those who refuse to see it. And then choose to focus on yourself. Go all in on your growth. Prioritize your goals. Protect your peace. Work so hard on becoming the best version of yourself that you don't even have time to look back. Because the best revenge, the best way to move forward, it's success. It's becoming so focused, so powerful, so undeniably great that the people who once doubted you have no choice but to watch you rise. But you don't do it for them. You do it for you. You do it because you owe it to yourself to be everything you are capable of being. So stop waiting, stop second guessing, let them go, focus on yourself, and watch how your life transforms. Your peace is priceless. Let that sink in. No amount of love, validation, or approval from others is worth sacrificing your inner peace. But too many people spend their lives trying to keep the wrong relationships alive, holding on to people who do nothing but drain them, and staying in situations that make them feel small. And the worst part? They convince themselves that it's normal, that it's just how life is. But I'm here to tell you it's not. Life is not meant to be spent in a constant state of exhaustion, trying to prove your worth to people who refuse to see it. It's not meant to be spent walking on eggshells, afraid to upset someone who never considers your feelings in the first place. If something or someone is costing you your peace, it's too expensive, period. No amount of history, no amount of loyalty, no amount of effort should keep you tied to a relationship, a job, or a mindset that steals your joy and leaves you feeling empty. You need to start protecting your peace like your life depends on it. Because it does. When you constantly surround yourself with negativity, with toxic people, with unnecessary drama, it drains you mentally, emotionally, and even physically. And when you're drained, you can't think clearly. You can't focus on your goals. You can't be the best version of yourself. You feel stuck. You feel lost. And the worst part, you start to believe that this is just how life is always going to be. But here's the truth. You have a choice. You get to decide who and what you allow into your life. You get to set boundaries. You get to say no to the things that disrupt your peace. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing yourself. You don't have to justify walking away from a situation that's no longer serving you. You are not responsible for making other people comfortable at the expense of your own well-being. And I know, letting go is hard, especially when you've invested so much time and energy into a relationship, a friendship, or a job. You think, but I've already put in so much effort. You keep hoping things will change. You keep giving people the benefit of the doubt. And meanwhile, you're losing yourself. But let me ask you something. What's the price of your peace? How much longer are you willing to trade your happiness for the hope that one day things will magically get better? How much longer are you willing to let someone else control your emotions, your energy, your life? You can't afford to wait. Every day you spend tied to negativity is a day you'll never get back. Every moment you waste on someone who doesn't appreciate you is a moment you could have spent building a life that brings you joy. And the only way to take back control is to decide right now that your peace is more important than pleasing others, that your happiness is more important than maintaining connections that drain you, that you are done sacrificing your well-being for the sake of keeping the wrong people in your life. The moment you make that decision, everything changes. You start setting boundaries without feeling guilty. You stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop chasing people who wouldn't even cross the street for you. And you start focusing on what truly matters, your growth, your goals, your happiness. And let me tell you something. When you start protecting your peace, not everyone is going to like it. Some people are going to call you selfish. Some are going to say you've changed. But guess what? You're supposed to change. You're supposed to grow. You're supposed to evolve. And anyone who truly cares about you will respect that. The ones who don't, they were only meant to be in your life for a season. Let them go. Because when you finally choose peace over chaos, when you finally put yourself first, you will feel lighter. You will have more energy. You will wake up excited about your life instead of exhausted by it. And you will realize that the people and things you once held on to so tightly were the very things holding you back. So stop making excuses. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The time is now. Walk away from what's weighing you down. Protect your peace. And watch how everything in your life starts to change. Not everyone is meant to stay. Read that again. Some people are only in your life for a season. Some people were never meant to walk with you forever, but too many of us hold on out of fear, out of habit, out of the hope that maybe, just maybe, things will change. And while you're holding on, while you're chasing after people who don't even see your value, you're missing the opportunity to grow, to move forward, to step into the next chapter of your life. Let me tell you something. Growth requires letting go. It requires understanding that not every relationship is meant to last. Not every person you meet is supposed to stay in your life. And not everyone who started with you is meant to finish with you. And that's okay. But the problem is too many people don't want to accept that truth. They try to force connections that no longer fit. They hold on to relationships that have run their course. They cling to friendships that drain them, love that no longer serves them, and situations that no longer align with who they're becoming. And you wonder why you feel stuck. You wonder why you feel exhausted. It's because you're carrying people who were never meant to walk with you in the first place. You're dragging dead weight, trying to bring people with you who don't want to grow, who don't want to change, who don't want to evolve. And the longer you hold on, the more you slow yourself down. There are people in your life right now who were only meant to teach you a lesson, not walk this journey with you. Some people come into your life to show you what you need to heal. Some come to show you what you don't want. Some come to teach you the importance of boundaries. But that doesn't mean they're meant to stay. It doesn't mean you're supposed to hold on to them out of guilt or fear or nostalgia. And here's the hard part. Letting go isn't just about removing people from your life. Sometimes it's about letting go of old versions of yourself. The version of you that tolerated less than you deserved. The version of you that kept people around just because you didn't want to be alone. The version of you that was afraid to step into the unknown. If you want to grow, if you want to become everything you are meant to be, you have to be willing to release everything that is no longer in alignment with your future. It's not easy. It's never easy, because letting go means accepting that some people won't understand your growth. Some people will call you selfish. Some will say you've changed, and they're right. You have. You're supposed to. You are not meant to stay the same. You are not meant to remain in relationships that no longer feel right, in situations that no longer bring you joy, in friendships that no longer push you forward. If people cannot grow with you, if they cannot support your evolution, then they are not meant to go where you're headed. And here's the truth. When you start to let go, when you start prioritizing yourself, when you stop chasing people and start chasing your dreams, you will notice something incredible. The right people will find you. The ones who truly belong in your life will rise with you. The ones who genuinely care will support your growth, not resent it. And the ones who were only meant to be in your life for a season, they will fade away, and you will realize they were never truly meant to stay. So stop forcing what isn't meant to be. Stop holding on to people who make you feel small. Stop trying to fit into spaces that no longer align with your future. Let go. And when you do, when you finally release the weight of what's been holding you back, you will feel lighter. You will feel free. You will finally have the space, the energy, and the clarity to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your happiness, your future. Not everyone is meant to stay, and that's okay. Let them go. Focus on you and watch how everything in your life begins to change. Energy flows where focus goes. That's the rule. What you focus on expands. What you give your attention to grows. And yet, too many people waste their energy on things and people that don't deserve it. They focus on the drama, on the negativity, on the opinions of people who wouldn't even notice if they disappeared tomorrow. They spend their days replaying past mistakes, worrying about what others think, and holding on to relationships that do nothing but drain them. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. They wonder why they can't seem to make progress. Here's the truth. You are in control of where your energy goes. You are in control of what you give your attention to. And if you keep directing your energy toward people who don't value you, situations that frustrate you, or problems that don't actually matter, you are robbing yourself of the chance to grow. You are stealing from your future every time you allow distractions to take over your focus. Think about it. How much time do you spend worrying about things you can't change? How often do you scroll through social media comparing yourself to people who are only showing you their highlight reel? How much energy do you give to relationships that are clearly one-sided? If you sat down and counted the hours you spent focusing on things that do nothing for your growth, you'd realize just how much of your life has been wasted. Now, imagine if you redirected all that energy. Imagine if instead of focusing on what's missing, you focused on what you have. Instead of giving your attention to people who don't care, you invested in yourself. Instead of obsessing over why someone doesn't like you, you poured that energy into becoming someone you're proud of. Everything in your life would change. Because here's the thing. Your future depends on what you do today. Your success, your happiness, your peace. They are all being shaped by the choices you make right now. If you choose to focus on your goals, if you choose to pour into your growth, if you choose to protect your energy, you will become unstoppable. But if you keep letting your focus get pulled in 1,000 different directions, if you keep chasing people who don't care, if you keep feeding negativity with your attention, you will stay exactly where you are. And let's be real. Staying stuck is a choice. Maybe not consciously, but every time you prioritize the wrong things, every time you let distraction steal your time, every time you invest energy into people who don't invest back, you are choosing to stay in the same place. And I know that sounds harsh, but you need to hear it. Because too many people convince themselves that life is just happening to them, that they have no control. But you do. You have a choice every single day to take your energy back. You can choose to wake up and focus on what you're grateful for instead of what you lack. You can choose to spend time on your goals instead of scrolling endlessly and comparing yourself to strangers. You can choose to let go of the people who make you feel small and start surrounding yourself with those who push you forward. It's all a choice. And the second you start making the right ones, you will feel the shift. Because when you stop focusing on things that don't serve you, you create space for what actually matters. You gain clarity, you feel lighter, you stop wasting energy on nonsense, and you start using it to build the life you want. And guess what? That's when the right people show up. That's when opportunities start flowing in. That's when your confidence skyrockets because you're no longer drained by things that don't deserve your energy. So ask yourself right now, where is your focus going? Are you pouring your energy into growth, into success, into happiness, or are you throwing it away on things that don't even matter? The answer will tell you exactly why your life looks the way it does. And if you don't like that answer, change it. Take your focus back. Protect your energy. Choose yourself. And watch how everything around you starts to transform. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing yourself. Read that again. You don't have to justify your decisions to people who don't understand your journey. You don't have to convince others that your growth is necessary. You don't have to apologize for setting boundaries, for protecting your peace, for saying no to things that drain you. The moment you decide to focus on yourself, to prioritize your happiness, to do what's best for you, people will have opinions. They will question you. Some will even get upset. And that's okay, because their discomfort is not your problem. Too many people live their lives trying to make others comfortable. They stay in situations that don't serve them because they don't want to hurt someone's feelings. They hold on to friendships that no longer feel right because they don't want to seem like a bad person. They keep explaining their choices to people who were never meant to understand them in the first place. And in doing so, they lose themselves. They sacrifice their happiness for the sake of keeping the peace with people who wouldn't do the same for them. But let's be clear. Your life is yours. Your happiness is yours. Your future is yours. And if you spend your time worrying about what others think, if you keep shrinking yourself to make others comfortable, you will wake up one day and realize you built a life that doesn't even feel like your own. You will look in the mirror and wonder where you went when you stopped living for yourself, when you started allowing the opinions of others to dictate your every move. You don't owe anyone an explanation for deciding to be happy. You don't need to explain why you're walking away from toxic relationships. You don't have to justify why you're cutting ties with people who no longer align with your values. You don't need approval to set boundaries. You don't need validation to chase your dreams. The only person who needs to understand your choices is you. And here's the truth. The people who truly love and respect you will support your growth. They will celebrate your decisions, even if they don't fully understand them. They will recognize that your happiness matters, that your peace is important, that your journey is yours to walk. But the ones who resist your growth, the ones who try to guilt trip you, who make you feel selfish for choosing yourself, who act like you owe them something, those are the people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. Those are the ones who were comfortable with you putting them first, even when it hurt you. And that's why choosing yourself is so hard, because it forces you to see who is truly for you and who is only for what they can get from you. It forces you to let go of relationships you never thought you'd lose. It forces you to stand firm in your decisions, even when people don't agree. But that's what growth is. It's uncomfortable, it's messy, it's lonely at times. But it is necessary. You cannot keep explaining your evolution to people who refuse to grow with you. You cannot keep justifying your boundaries to those who never respected them in the first place. You cannot keep apologizing for doing what's best for you. Because at the end of the day, you are the one who has to live with your choices. You are the one who has to wake up every morning and face the life you've built. And if you keep making decisions based on what others think, you will never be free. So stop explaining. Stop defending. Stop over-explaining your boundaries to people who never respected them in the first place. Just live. Just do what makes you happy. Just walk away when something no longer feels right. Just trust that the right people will understand and the wrong ones will remove themselves. Because you don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing yourself. And the moment you realize that, the moment you fully embrace it, your life will change in ways you never imagined. Your time and energy are your most valuable resources, yet too many people waste them on things that don't matter. They give their time to people who drain them. They invest their energy in situations that bring them nothing but stress, and then they wonder why they feel exhausted, unfulfilled, stuck. They wonder why they can't seem to move forward, why life feels like a constant cycle of frustration and disappointment. But here's the truth. You cannot keep pouring into things that do not pour back into you. You cannot keep giving your time and energy away so freely to people and situations that do nothing for your growth. Every single day, you wake up with a limited amount of energy. Think of it like money in a bank account. If you start your day with $100 worth of energy, where are you spending it? Are you investing it in things that make you better, that bring you joy, that push you forward? Or are you wasting it on negativity, on meaningless distractions, on people who only take and never give? Too many people are running on empty because they keep spending their energy in the wrong places. They wake up and immediately check their phones, scrolling through other people's lives instead of focusing on their own. They answer calls and messages from people who only bring stress and drama. They say yes to things they don't want to do out of guilt or obligation. And by the time they finally sit down to focus on themselves, on their goals, on what truly matters, they have nothing left to give. And then they wonder why they feel drained, why they feel uninspired, why they feel like they're just going through the motions of life instead of actually living it. It's because they've given everything they have to people and situations that don't deserve it. But here's the good news. You have a choice. You get to decide where your energy goes. You get to set boundaries. You get to say no. You do not have to answer every call. You do not have to engage in every argument. You do not have to give your time to people who do not value it. You are allowed to protect your energy. In fact, you must. Because if you don't, people will drain you dry. And they won't stop, because the truth is the world will take as much as you allow. Think about the people in your life. Think about the situations you keep giving your time and energy to. Do they lift you up or do they pull you down? Do they inspire you or do they drain you? Do they push you to be better or do they make you feel stuck? If something or someone is constantly leaving you feeling exhausted, anxious, or unappreciated, it's a sign that you need to take a step back, a sign that you need to reclaim your energy. And I know it's not easy, especially if you've spent your whole life being the person who always gives, who always shows up, who always puts others first. But you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you keep giving everything away, if you keep allowing yourself to be drained, you will have nothing left for yourself. And if you have nothing left for yourself, how will you ever become the person you are meant to be? You don't have to feel guilty for protecting your energy. You don't have to apologize for setting boundaries. You don't have to explain why you're prioritizing yourself. The people who truly care about you will understand, and the ones who don't, the ones who get upset when you say no, those are the people who are benefiting from your lack of boundaries. The truth is, when you start protecting your energy, your life changes. You feel lighter, you feel more in control, you have the time and space to focus on what truly matters. And the best part, you attract better people. When you stop giving your energy to the wrong things, you make room for the right things. When you stop pouring into people who drain you, you create space for people who actually appreciate and uplift you. So stop wasting your energy. Stop giving your time to things that do nothing for you. Stop allowing people to take from you without giving anything back. Protect your energy. Guard it like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Your future, your happiness, your success, all of it depends on where your energy goes. So choose wisely and watch how everything starts to change. The most powerful thing you will ever do is learn how to walk away. Walk away from what no longer serves you. Walk away from people who drain you. Walk away from situations that bring you nothing but stress, anxiety, and frustration. Too many people stay in places they have outgrown simply because they are afraid of what will happen if they leave. They are afraid of being alone, afraid of the unknown, afraid of change. But what they don't realize is that staying stuck is far worse than walking away. When you hold on to things that no longer align with who you are becoming, you limit yourself. You block your own growth. You keep yourself trapped in a cycle of frustration, disappointment, and exhaustion. You tell yourself that maybe things will change, that maybe if you just try harder, it will get better. But deep down, you know the truth. You know when something isn't working. You know when a relationship has run its course. You know when you have outgrown a situation and yet you hesitate. You cling to familiarity even when it's making you miserable. But here's the thing. Growth requires letting go. You cannot step into the next chapter of your life if you are still holding on to the last one. You cannot become the person you are meant to be if you are surrounded by people who keep pulling you back. You cannot move forward if you are weighed down by the past. And until you accept that, you will remain stuck. I get it. Walking away is hard. It's uncomfortable. It forces you to step into the unknown, to trust yourself in a way you never have before. But the moment you do it, the moment you let go of what's been holding you back, you will realize just how much weight you've been carrying. You will feel lighter, freer, more in control of your own life. Think about it. How much energy do you spend holding on to things that are no longer meant for you? How much time do you waste trying to fix people who don't want to be fixed? Trying to change situations that will never change? Imagine if you took all that energy, all that time, and invested it in yourself. Imagine if you focused on your own growth instead of trying to hold on to things that are breaking you. Imagine if instead of staying in a situation that drains you, you walked away and made space for something better. Because here's the truth. There is something better. There are people out there who will love and appreciate you for who you truly are. There are opportunities waiting for you that align with your dreams and your purpose. There is peace, happiness, and success on the other side of your fear, but you will never experience any of it if you keep clinging to what is no longer meant for you. And yes, when you walk away, people will have opinions. Some will try to guilt trip you to make you feel like you are making a mistake.